Look, guys, if Nick with CPF Boxing, just doing another quick video. I'm in the room with hardly anything in it. I'm in the process of moving. We're in the process of moving. Freddie's about somewhere. He'll probably jump on the couch in a second. If you don't know who Freddie is, he's my French bulldog, and he's a fat little spud, and he's quite annoying sometimes, but most of the time he's cool. If you've got a French bulldog, you'll know they're just quite funny, needy, and very greedy dogs. But he's probably learned it from his owner, because I just eat when I don't need to. Luckily, I'm active all the way about 28 stone. So, quick video. What should we talk about? I've glanced over a few things at work, and a couple have been like eyebrow raisers. Okay, let's go into it. Derek Chisora turned down £2 million to fight Moses Itauma. So that's really interesting to me. It's interesting because a pro boxer has turned down a shitload of money. So that shows that it's not always about the money, and he does genuinely care about his legacy, because let's not forget, his next fight will be his last fight. He will bow out right off into the sunset. And he turned down £2 million to fight Moses Itauma. Of the many people, I think he'd have turned down £2 million to fight no, to be honest. But someone, a young guy like Moses Itauma, who could potentially knock him out. This is his 50th fight, remember. He doesn't want that lasting image of him in his last fight to be him on the canvas, like a goldfish, like a half-dead goldfish or something. I'm not saying that would have been the result, but it's possible. Moses Itauma is now fighting Dillian White. Dillian White, I'm assuming, will have got £2 million for that. If he hasn't, and he's seen this news report, he'll be on the phone to Del Boy saying, "Who's your agent? I'm switching camps because I want some of that." I'm pretty sure they'll have offered Dillian White the same money. Like I said, if not, he might be kicking off about that, and there might be a bit of trouble. But I'm sure contracts have already been signed or whatever. So Chisora, to me, it shows that money isn't everything, and it also shows how scary the other heavyweights find Moses Itauma. Because for £2 million, get off it. Get off. Stop trying to ruin my video. For £2 million, I can't see many people he wouldn't have fought. I think he'd have fought Usyk again. For £2 million or even less, he wanted to fight Usyk. I think he'd fight Parker, who I think will be his next fight, which is, it will be entertaining. I'll watch it, but it's a bit of a head scratcher at the same time. But with Moses Itauma, he won't have wanted a 20-year-old up and coming. I say kid, but he's fully fucking massive. He's a huge dude for 20 years old. It's crazy. I don't think they wanted us to remember as his last fight. A huge arena in Manchester or London or something, where he's on the canvas because he's just been sparked out in 8 or 9 rounds. I'm going to say White will last 5 or 6 rounds. If Chisora, I think he's got a bit more durability, maybe. I reckon he'd have lasted longer. So yeah, that's interesting. He's been offered £2 million, which he turned down. It may just be, do you know what, money's not everything. I want my last fight. It has to be the one. Maybe he just didn't see Itauma as his opponent. But I would bet that he didn't want his last fight to result in him on the canvas. And our lasting image of Del Boy, which we don't want, to be fair, is him on the canvas being knocked out in his final fight. He'll want to go on either with a win or in a rock'em sock'em sort of all-out war sort of fight, which I think Parker will give him. I do think Parker would beat him. He's got more than a puncher's chance. Like I say, he's on a winning run. I think Parker would beat him, though. He'd be the favourite. But I think he'd rather take a back and forth at points war with Parker over potentially getting sparked out by Itauma. Could Parker knock him out? Of course he could, but he's not as known for that as much as, I guess, as Itauma at the moment. He's knocking people out. He's struggling to get rounds with people, so that's interesting to me. What else we got? What else did I see today? Jamie TKV, I was just listening to IFL TV, which is really cool. Cassius Coogan. It's good anyway. He's basically, Jamie TKV's really pissed off because David Adelaya, as TKV's now calling him, has taken a Hrgovic fight, but he's not fighting Jamie TKV. So the TKV Adelaide fight was ordered. I'm sure it was ordered by a governing body. But we were all really surprised. Not many people said. I've heard no one say really that they thought Hrgovic versus Adelaide announcement would come out. We all thought it'd be Jamie TKV or maybe someone else that Adelaide would fight. TKV's really pissed off about it. He said he's a pussy, he's a liar. He says, I want everyone to know it. So there's still bad blood there. He says, we'll come first, full circle and we'll meet again. I'm not sure about that. Reason I'm not sure about that is if Adelaide wins against Hrgovic, he gets elevated and he won't be fighting Jamie TKV anytime soon. If Adelaide wins and TKV wins his next fight, let's just say for argument's sake, he's fighting Dave Allen, who could be fighting Joseph Parker or Deontay Wilder. It's just confusing. Depends what news reports you believe. let's say Hergovic wins against Adelaide wins against Hergovic, he's not going to fight Jamie TKV after. If Adelaide loses to Hergovic in spectacular fashion, I could see that fight being made maybe. If Jamie TKV hangs on or he wins his next Amazon delivery just fucked my video up, but I was doing a good job of fucking it up anyway. Yeah, so basically TKV versus Adelaide. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Adelaide's taken the opportunity to fight Hergovic on a card in Saudi on the Itauma Dillian White undercard. Unless he just gets battered by Hergovic and looks really bad, I don't think he'll be fighting TKV anytime soon. I don't know. He's in that realm of those guys. The Hergovics, the Zhilei Zhangs, who else? You know, those guys that have fought on Riyadh season cards. He wants to be swimming of those sharks. I'd like to see TKV fight Dave Allen in Sheffield, to be honest, or Doncaster, or somewhere around here. I'm based in Leeds, so for me, I'd like to see. My mate said it'd be cool if you fought him in Sheffield. We could go to that, so it'd be good. It'd be a night out, a piss up, whatever. I'd like to see TKV fight Dave Allen. Dave Allen's been mentioned fighting Joseph Parker. Again, I know it's become my catchphrase. It doesn't necessarily make loads of sense, because I really thought Parker would be like, look, I'm fighting. If the name's not Usyk or Dubois, I don't want to fight him. He could fight Dave Allen. You never know. Joseph Parker might be like, fuck it, I'll take the risk, I'll roll the dice, I'll fight Dave Allen, then I'll fight the winner of Usyk or Dubois. It's a head scratcher, but I would watch it. Would I watch it? Yes. It's funny in a way that Dave Allen has won. He's beaten Johnny Fisher, and his popularity's gone up, which is great. He works hard, no disrespect to him, but it's just weird that like now he might fight Deontay Wilder, Joseph Parker. The Wilder one's more feasible because Wilder is coming off a few losses, and I'm really trying to rationalise this about sounding disrespectful to Dave Allen. He's very good, but I think he's near the end of his career maybe. He's probably got a few fights left. I think he should push for a British title fight or a fight against someone like Jamie TKV, Fraser Clark. That would be interesting. The Joseph Parker one, I'm thinking surely it'd be Derek Chisora for Chisora's send-off fight. I think that would have more appeal than David Allen. David Allen, that would be a good fight, but it'd be a weird one for Joseph Parker. Chisora one's sort of questionable. Someone said the other day to me, you know, who's Chisora been bribing? And I did think, yeah, it seems like a bit of a step up for Chisora. And it feels like Parker's not been punished, but it just seems weird to give him someone that's not Usyk or Dubois. Or Kabayel. His name's been mentioned again. I don't know who he's fighting next. Klitschko wanted to fight him. It's weird. There's a lot of names being thrown out on potential matchups at the moment. Wilder's fighting on the weekend anyway. Deontay Wilder. I listened to a podcast of him yesterday. Yeah, I mean, he's just like, the interviewer was asking him the odd question. Deontay Wilder was on one. He just wouldn't show up. I don't know if he's still smoking something. He was talking about his injuries, and when he goes into his injuries and the extent of his hand injuries, I'm sort of thinking, how can you recover from those injuries? At the age of, I think he's 40 now, 39, 40, 41, something like that. So it's really, there's a lot of questions about who's fighting who. Chisora turned down Itauma. Itauma's now fighting White. Chisora could be fighting Parker. Dave Allen could also be fighting Parker, but David Allen could also fight Jamie TKV or Wilder. I don't know if Zhilei Zhang is going to re-enter the fray, if he'll end up in this pool of names. I just don't know, to be honest. There's some exciting fights there, don't get me wrong. The Adelaide one did come out of the blue. I do think I'm hoping it would be a good fight. Adelaide didn't look great in his last fight, but he's a big, strong, athletic guy. I think Hergovic should be too much for him personally, but let's see what happens with that. So yeah, it's a really random podcast, but I was just going through the news I saw earlier, and I saw that Derek Chisora turned on $2 million to fight Moses Itauma. Interesting, but that just shows how scary Itauma is as a heavyweight, that people are turning on £2 million to fight him. And it also shows that Derek Chisora doesn't want to risk his last fight being flattened. He wants to fight someone he could probably have a back and forth with. One for the history books, one to remember in a few years' time, like Eubanks Jr. versus Ben. And yeah, the other interesting thing, Jamie TKV, David Adelaide. You got Jarrell Miller. There's been a bit of beef in the past couple of days. Actually, Jarrell Miller's chirping at Joshua. I've not heard a Joshua response yet, but Jarrell Miller's saying that Joshua's a pussy. Would I like to see Big Baby Miller versus Joshua? Yes, definitely. Not just the fight. I know it sounds ridiculous, but also the build-up and all that stuff. It'll be back and forth. Again, it's so dramatic. It's like a soap opera in a way, isn't it? Really like seeing them fight. As far as the styles go, it'd be a really dangerous fight for Joshua, I think. It'd be a really dangerous fight for Joshua just because he's got power, he's athletic, he's obviously a good boxer, he's boxed at a high level, but his chin has really been called into question in recent times, and Big Baby Miller hits very hard. And he would hit him. He'd get hit with something. Big Baby Miller is trimmed down by looks it slightly, but he's still going to be like probably 280, 290 around that. So huge. He did the kickboxing thing before. So Jarrell Miller, his striking is very diverse. I know this isn't kickboxing, but he's got a lot of experience within combat sports. He's a dangerous guy. Not as dangerous as when he was on steroids, and I think actually statistics have backed that up, but still a dangerous guy. So this is a podcast really random. Throwing some names up there, who could fight who's turned down who. There's all sorts going on. Hopefully some of the fights are getting confirmed soon. Frank Warren said there's some big fight announcements upcoming, so we'll look out for them. Meanwhile, let us know what you think. Who do you think Joseph Parker should fight next? Who do you think Derek Chisora should fight next? Who do you think Dave Allen should fight next? Do you think Jamie TKV and Adelaide should have run it back? Or has Adelaide done the right thing by saying, yep, I'll have a bit of that. I'll go to Saudi and fight Filip Hrgovic? Help me answer these questions. I don't know it all. None of us do, and that's the beauty of it. There's always something to learn. There's always something new that will come along. I'll look at the boxing news tomorrow, the UFC news or something. Something exciting will happen. That's why we love it. Look at the UFC. John Jones retires. Everyone's talking about it today. Even casual fans. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's exciting. It's great. Okay. Liquid CPF boxing. If you know, then you know pretty much. Samurai Cop. If you like really bad movies that are somehow good, watch Samurai. Trust me, if you like bad movies, entertainingly shit movies, Samurai Cop. I might try and force my wife to watch it tonight. I'm not going to show her the trailer because she'll be like, I'm not watching that shit. But I might make it sound like Lethal Weapon. I might just say she watched Lethal Weapon, then put this on, see if she notices. She probably will notice the gulf in quality, but it's a good shit film. Watch it, Samurai Cop. Anyway, Liquid CPF boxing, enough babbling from me. Enjoy your evening. Peace out.